What's good, YouTube? We are back, and today we're going to be talking about the best game of the playoffs. No exaggeration. I've seen a ton of basketball games. I've seen a ton. This might go down as a top 5 basketball game I've ever seen in my life. You can't count the Pacers out. You literally can't. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much of a lead you have, they always fight back. And we're going to delve into it. We're going to talk about what happened, what we could expect going forward, and what went wrong for the Knicks. Because, man, oh my gosh, this was such a good game, bro. This was such a good game. That Tyrese Haliburton shot. Insanity. He was about to drive in, take up a 2, moves around, takes a spin move, comes back to the perimeter, lets it go, ends up being a 2, hits that Reggie Miller signature choke. It was crazy, man. Imagine how much colder it would have been if it was a 3. It was still really cold. But he said himself he wouldn't have done it if he knew that it was going to be a 2. But if anything, I think that's even more impressive because he kind of needed to win the game at that point, because you can't hit that and then expect to lose the game in overtime. They had to win, bro. As Tyrese Haliburton would have gone down as such a laughingstock, but they took care of business. And a lot of people are going to be talking about that Tyrese Haliburton crazy shot. But how did they get there? They got there with Aaron Nesmith. They got there with Aaron Nesmith, who just turned to Steph Curry. Went absolutely electric. He finished the game off with 8 threes, right? 8 and 9 from 3. 6 of those threes were in a row. 6 of them. The Pacers found themselves down 14 points and proceeded to go on a 20-6 run. They were down 14 with 2.5 minutes left and went on a 20-6 run, bro. That's insane. You don't hear about things like that unless it's about the Pacers, because they've done it 3 times now this playoffs. The run was led by Nesmith, capped off by Haliburton. What else can you really say about this team, bro? They don't give up. They have a lot of fight. Karl Towns had a really good game. He had 35 points, 12 rebounds. He had 4 3-pointers. Karl Towns was finally shooting the ball again. We wanted more of that from him in the entirety of the playoffs. But this game, he showed it. He started shooting again, signature cat, right? Jalen Brunson. Man, hold up. I got to say something about Jalen Brunson here. People talk all day and night about SGA being a foul merchant. The things I've seen from Jalen Brunson tonight, bro. The things I've seen. He finished the game off with 12 free throws. Yesterday, people were mad hating on Shea for having 11 free throws. Today, Jalen Brunson had 12. Bro, they place... like, these guys are literally an all-time foul merchants. But the thing is, though, Jalen Brunson still shot 60% from the field. He still shot 60% from the field. He had himself a great game. And especially when he saw so many bodies on him tonight. And the fact that he was able to adjust still and drop 43 points, is still mad impressive. The only thing is, none of that matters. Because the Pacers were able to come back into this. And, bro, this team, it doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't make sense. Like, I've been saying it, the only way I could describe this team is they fluke their wins. But it's not fluking because they're actually good. But let's break down the game from the top to the bottom. The game started off with the Pacers just not being able to miss from the field. They shot 9 of 9 to start the game off. They did not miss their first 9 shots. Miles Turner, who actually didn't play at the end of regulation, he started the game off 5 of 5. It was an insane pace in that first quarter. These teams were just going at it. But the thing is, they couldn't stop each other defensively. It was just all offense coming from both sides. And then in the second quarter, Tyrese Haliburton turns it up a little bit because he didn't play too well in the first quarter. Everyone else around him did. But he had 10 points in the second. He found his open looks, and he was able to really mess up Cat in that drop coverage whenever they ran the pick and roll. Jalen Brunson turned up, though. And he helped lead the team to be eventually up 69-62, up half. And then he also got in foul trouble. He got in foul trouble really bad. And around when he got his 5th foul, I believe this was around I think it was towards the end of the 3rd, maybe start of the 4th. You thought that, okay, damn. At this point, it's going to be Indiana just coming back into the game, really doing their own. And then the Knicks just go on like this, 12-0 run without Jalen Brunson even on the court. And this was led by OG Anunoby. This was led by Karl Towns. And then Miles McBride did really good too. So shout out Deuce. It's just didn't matter, though. Like how I said before, it really didn't matter. Cat had such good defense on Pascal Siakam, though. I saw a lot of things that we could really go off from this series. It's going to be so entertaining because there's so much adjustments that could be made. And there was a lot of bad that was done from both teams tonight, regardless of the outcome, regardless of who came out on top in this really close endeavor. Both teams showed weaknesses. Siakam just could not get himself to play his brand of basketball. It's like he was straight charging into the paint every single time. He was actually pissed off at Karl Towns at some point. He was straight up charging into the paint. And Mitchell and Cat running that big man duo, it was too much for Indiana to handle too. So I could see Tom Thibodeau really incorporating that Mitchell and Cat lineup going forward, because that really was their bread and butter to be able to get to that lead. But like I said before, they couldn't keep it. And then when we get to overtime, right, because you already know what happens before that point, we get to overtime, and both of these teams are really just scoring their buckets. You have big plays from Obi Toppin, that putback that he did from that Tyrese Haliburton missed three. You had big plays coming from Tyrese Haliburton himself. Jalen Brunson was still keeping it neck and neck. But there was this one crucial mistake that the Knicks did. But before we even talk about what the mistake was, we got to talk about how they got in that position. There was this call that Rick Carlisle decided to challenge, where it was either an out of bounds on Nembhard, which it was called on, or it was an out of bounds on Jalen Brunson. They challenged this call. It was a perfect challenge because the officials ruled that it was actually off the fingertips of Jalen Brunson, which made it so that it was Indiana ball, 136-135, with only 18 seconds left. Next thing you know, the inbound starts. Obi Toppin gets the ball, and he just has the easiest dunk of his life. The easiest dunk of his life. There was no defense by the Knicks, no sense of urgency, and he actually got fouled towards the end of that dunk when he was already in the air, and the dunk was pretty much inside, where Mikal Bridges fouled him. It was a no call, or else it would have looked even worse. It was some of the worst late-game execution that the Knicks could have possibly had. And then, in the last play of the game, New York has two great shot attempts, but misses. One from Jalen Brunson, where he does that step-back three, doesn't go in. They get the board, pass out to Cat, and Cat's been knocking these down all night, and it doesn't go in. That's just how it went. That's just how it went. They could not be in that position, though. They wouldn't have been in that position if they were actually able to play better defense or even get a call up, and they would have had more time to really maneuver around this. But, man, it was just really poor late-game execution from the Knicks, and you really expect better from that, especially in like that last minute of overtime. They just crumbled, dude. Pull out that picture of Tyrese Haliburton again, bro. They really crumbled, dude. They really did. Going forward, I think this is going to be the most entertaining series of the playoffs. I think that this is going to be just a start, the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this. You're going to see more games like this. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have another Pacers comeback of the century moment like how we did tonight. If I have to give this series prediction, which I have not officially stated yet, I'm rocking with the Pacers, man. I'm rocking with the Pacers. I think it's going to be close. I think it's not going to be a short series by any means. It's going to stretch out. It's going to probably be in 6 or 7 games. I'm gonna go with Pacers in 6. I don't think it will be easy by any means. You're gonna see a ton of games where it really comes down to the wire. In my other video, I did talk about how each one of these games is gonna talk about which team has a better clutch factor. You have the clutch player of the year in Jalen Brunson, but Indiana matches that. Like how I said, this whole series is gonna come down to clutch moments. And tonight it was Indiana. Indiana just did what they had to. They came back. New York thought they buried the coffin and the coffin broke. And Indiana came out. It was absolutely insane. This was probably one of the best games of the playoffs by far. And I do think we're going to get more exciting barn burner games like how we did tonight. But if you're still here, I appreciate you. Leave a like, subscribe down below. And let me know, who do y'all have winning the rest of the series? I don't think it's over by any means. I am picking Indiana to win it, but I think this is a really tough one to predict because both of these teams, they're electric and clutch, and I'm just really excited for this series. But let me know down below who y'all got. I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care.